Why is the search term report so important in Google Ads? Well, the success or failure of a campaign will often hinge on the effectiveness of the search term targeting. And what we often see when we're reviewing new Google Ads accounts from clients is that there are a lot of non-relevant search terms that we can see appearing in their search term report, which are wasting their ad spend because these search terms are being used by people who are not looking to purchase their product or service. They're just doing research. And so in this video, I'm going to explain how to quickly review your search term report, identify those terms which are wasting your ad spend, and help your campaign progress towards being more profitable. Okay, so when you're in your Google Ads account, if you're not familiar with the search term report, in order to access your report, you can either within your accounts view, select keywords, or click on the campaign that you'd like to review. Then click on the keywords tab on the left. And then in the top menu, select search terms. Now within this report, you can see all of the search terms that are being targeted by your campaign. But you might not want to look at every single search term because some of these search terms are going to be relevant. So we don't want to waste too much time looking through every single search term. So when you're reviewing the report, you can save a lot of time by using filters. So I'll show you the filters that I would recommend using. So firstly, let's filter by match type. Now, we don't want to be reviewing exact match terms because those terms are keywords that we're targeting within our campaign. So it wouldn't make much sense to review those if we're trying to find the non-relevant search terms within our campaign. So another filter to use is added or excluded. So we want to be looking only at none. So we don't want to be looking at keywords that are added in our campaign or that we've already excluded, because that would not be an effective use of time. Also, because we're looking at non-relevant terms, we should look at terms which have no conversions. So we're going to block out those terms from our report also. So anything with less than one conversion, that's what we want to be looking at. So by doing this, we now have a more refined list that we can search through. And it's a good idea to filter by either impressions or clicks so that we can see the terms that are appearing the most and look at those terms first. So the next step is to then take a look at what we want to do is eyeball each and every term within the report. And we want to ask ourselves, is this term going to be used by a potential customer? Or is it being used by somebody who's perhaps just doing research, perhaps on a related subject to our product or service? And in that case, it might not be the best way of us spending our ad spend. So we're just going to go through this report as an example. This campaign is investment based, and there are some specific investment products being marketed here. So we're going to go through the report and see if there's any terms which are not really relevant to the type of products that we have on offer, the type of investments, and are not really, to see if there's any terms which are not even really relevant to investing in general. So we're just going to go through each and every term now. So all of these terms so far look relevant, so we don't need to take any action. We're just looking for terms which are not going to be relevant in the context that we're marketing campaigns. So small investment ideas. This is potentially non-relevant, because ultimately this campaign is not supposed to be targeting people who are looking for very, very small investments. So that's something that we could add as a negative keyword, and that would save us. This search term has already spent almost £18. So that's a saving we could make in the future. blocking out this keyword, and money will no longer be spent on this search term. So let's continue down. So investing money in stocks. So this particular investment product is not a stock, so that's certainly a good candidate for a non-relevant keyword that we want to be blocking out from our campaign. Basically, if it's related to stocks, we want to be blocking it. So there's another stocks one that we can, and here's another one, no risk investments. So this particular investment is not free of risk, and somebody who's searching for no risk investments, it's not very likely that they would be interested in this type of investment. So I can see clearly here that no risk investment is something that we want to negative match and remove from our search term targeting. So let's continue down the list. So we've got here 5G companies. So this investment product is not related to 5G companies or investments in specific companies. So that's definitely a negative keyword we want to add. So just going through this list, we've already found a number of keywords that we want to add as negative keywords. And when we add them as negative keywords, that means that these search terms will no longer be targeted by our campaign. So what we can do here is to add these exact search terms as they are as negative keywords. We can click add as negative keyword at the top. And what that's going to do is give us the option of, do we want to add them at the ad group level or in the campaign level or in a negative keyword list? Now, for most cases, you would want to add these negative keywords at the campaign level to make sure that no ad groups can target these terms ever again. Now, one crucial thing to note is that the default is to add these keywords as exact match negative keywords, which is indicated by these brackets here. So what that means is, when we add this as a negative keyword, we are only blocking one search term, and that is small investment ideas. Now, if we change this to phrase match by adding these quotes, then we're blocking any term that includes these words in these order. So for example, we would also be blocking a term like, what are the best small investment ideas? So we're blocking any term, so a wider spectrum of terms, anything which includes these words in this order. So just by doing that, just by adding those quotes, we're now blocking a wider spectrum of words. Now, we can also do something else which can be even more effective, and that's we can isolate the word that we deem to be the non-relevant term, okay? So we can just go ahead and add ideas as a negative keyword. And by doing that, we will block any search terms which contains the word ideas. So for example, if somebody was searching for bad investment ideas, they just want to get some examples of some bad investments that have been come up with historically. We're blocking that term as well. So by doing that, we're blocking a much wider spectrum. So to use the example of stocks, we've got two stocks related terms here that we're trying to block. But we could just do a shortcut by adding stocks as a phrase match negative keyword. And by doing that, we're blocking all of the terms that include the word stocks. We can also do the same thing with no risk. So we could just add no risk as a negative keyword. So you can see here that when you're adding negative keywords, you want to be blocking a wide spectrum of terms which you already have decided are going to be non-relevant. And that is going to have the highest impact, and that's going to save you the most money going forward. Now, adding negative keywords using the feature here can be quite cumbersome and take a long time. So a shortcut when you're reviewing your search term report is to add those keywords to a text file and then take all of those negative keywords and put them within a negative keyword list, which then can be applied to all of your campaigns. So I'll just go through that process quickly now. So as we go through this report, we're seeing these terms, ideas, for example. We want to add that as a negative keyword. We want to add stocks. We wanted to add no risk. And so once you have these terms, you can then add these to a negative keyword, and it's much quicker than just clicking add as negative keyword here and then doing all those edits that we had to do earlier. So to do that, just click on Tools and Settings, Negative Keyword Lists, and then here you can create a new list. Just click the plus sign and then we'll just call this New List. And then from your text file, you copy these phrase match negative keywords and you paste them into your list. And you can then click Save. And then you can add this to any campaigns in your account by clicking on Apply Campaigns. And you'll notice here for this particular account that there are many negative keyword lists, and this helps to save a lot of time. So I actually have a very large list that we've compiled of some of the most common negative keywords. There's over 13,500 negative keywords that we have in this list. So I'll paste a link to this list because it's a massive time saver. I'll paste a link to it in the description of this video. Check it out. You might find that useful. But yeah, I hope you found this video very helpful and informative. And hopefully it'll help save a lot of money for your campaigns. If you need any help or advice to review the search term reports for your campaigns, then feel free to get in contact with us at contact@optimizelab.com. And thank you for watching.